This is a Sitting Ringside with David Penzer. Quick Fix on Radio Influence.
Don West, welcome to Sitting Ringside. It is an honor to have you here.
When you look at it, it was a long era. TNA lasted a heck of a lot longer than people realize.
Yeah.
And it's still going in some form, but it's evolved like things do, and I hope everything works out because the more guys can get to work and the better. But gosh, think about it though. There was a stretch where we had the best talent in the world in their prime. And all these guys are now the biggest stars in the WWE. Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Bobby Roode, Austin Aries there for a stretch. Of course, we had Kurt Angle, and to this day, I think he's the greatest ever in my mind, as far as what he could do out there. And we had a roster, man.
Yep.
People have no idea how great that roster was, and I love it. But even Terry and I'll put on every now and then, just because we'll flip over and there's AJ, and he does the Pele, and I hear everybody screaming the Pele. Pins, I'm the guy that named.
I know that you were exactly.
I named and I'll never forget AJ. The next day, he goes to Mike and I and goes, "What was this Pele you guys are talking about?" We're like, "Are you kidding me? The soccer player, the Pele kick?" And he did some research, and he was like, "I love it." And he would do this thing over the ropes, and Mike today called it the Fosbury flop from Dick Fosbury from the '68 Olympics, and it was just, I named the border toss that Hernandez used to do. Remember that wicked move when he put him over his, and he was like, "Why are you calling it the border toss?" And I said, "Because that's how you got your guys across the border. You just throw them that way over the Rio Grande River."
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of AJ. I mean, we booked him back in the XWF when I was involved with that, and even in WCW at the very end. But I wouldn't have guessed that he would be headlining one of the big four pay-per-views against Brock Lesnar.
Dude, he's wrestling Brock Lesnar, and they will steal the show.
Now this drops the morning after, so people will have already seen the match.
And the last great match Brock had was with guess who? Samoa Joe.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yep.
And Bobby Roode will probably become the biggest star of all of them.
He's one of the best, and Eric Young still hasn't come up, and it seems like I don't know anything, but it seems like that would be a perfect landing place for Storm at some point. NXT and then maybe WWE. So yeah, got a lot of talent, and then you have Jay Lethal, big and Kazarian and Christopher Daniels and Ring of Honor.
I don't know if you were there when it happened. I wasn't announcing then. I was on the road, but I have been. You want to know the YouTube that I've been putting up every day now, and I'm showing it to people, was the promo with Jay Lethal and Ric Flair.
Oh, I watch that once a month.
I watch it at least once a week right now. In fact, I put Trevon Boykin on it today. We were sitting there talking about Ric Flair, and I said, "I got to show you this." I was telling him about Jay Lethal, and he goes, "You mean the guy from Ring of Honor?" And I went, "Dude, he does Ric Flair better than Ric Flair. You got to watch this promo, the two of them back and forth." And we were, before he went out to do the thing and before I started my radio show, we sat and watched all 6 minutes of Jay Lethal and Ric Flair doing their thing. It's one of the greatest things I've ever seen in professional wrestling.
And Flair had to try to keep himself from laughing. He was so amazed that it sounded like him.
Do you know Ric Flair told me? Because when that all happened, we were still kind of doing the road thing. Flair told me that he's never broke character, and that was the hardest he's ever had, to not break character. When Jay Lethal did the elbow on the suit coat on top of the ramp, and the whole thing's getting started, and you could see Rick wants to just lose it. Bobby Roode said he had to turn around and walk to the other side of the ring because you got Desmond Wolfe out there, and you got AJ, and they're all trying to stay in character. And Bobby Roode said, "I was laughing so hard, I couldn't let the camera see me. I had to turn around."
Also, I remember, I never forget when Jay Lethal did the mirror on the wall, and Flair almost had to bite his finger to stop from laughing. That was like one of the first lines. Guys, we got so much entertaining video for you guys to watch on YouTube. We got Don West selling Beanie Babies. We got the Don West heel turn on Mike Tenay, and nothing against you, Don, but probably the best of all time, the Ric Flair Jay Lethal angle.
Oh, the best, without question. And I'll tell you, actually, my favorite part of that is the very end when he makes the comment when Jay Lethal says, "Just remember, it's a lot easier to jump on than it is to jump off." And Ric Flair goes, "That's my line." And Jay Lethal's going, "No, that's my line."
Yeah.
And they're both saying, "That's my line. That's my line." And it's just freaking hilarious.
All right, I was gonna watch cable news tonight, but now I got plenty of stuff to watch.
No,
So,
you got to rewatch that. I watch it every day now. I swear that Jay Lethal, the talent he had doing impressions, his black machismo of Macho Man is epic. It's just epic.
Sitting Ringside with David Penzer can be found on Apple Podcast, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, and RadioInfluence.com.